The 2024 recruiting class is very stacked from top to bottom, but some of the most talked about players in this class are of course the higher graded players like a Dylan Raiola, Williams Nwaneri, Jeremiah Smith, David Stone, Colin Simmons, and KJ Bolden, just to name a few. But what about those players that don't necessarily get talked about as much, but should be talked about more, that are quote-unquote underrated, if you will? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some players in the 2024 recruiting class that you need to know about. These players are not necessarily the highest ranked players or not seen as some of the top 10 in their position group, even though they have some high production on the high school level and some very high upside to translate to the collegiate game. Before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. The first player that I'm going to be talking about in today's video is linebacker out of Utah and current Illinois linebacker commit. He is rated as a 3-star prospect according to the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings. He is ranked 1,193rd nationally and the number 108 linebacker in the class. He is coming off a great junior campaign in which he racked up 83 total tackles, including 8 tackles for loss, along with 5 sacks and even an interception. And in the season prior to that, as a sophomore in 2021, he had 102 total tackles, 9 tackles for loss, and 8 sacks. He is known for his production and being a highly effective player on the Utah prep scene, as he's known for his speed, his knack for finding the football, and being a great tackler, especially in open space. He's not considered one of the bigger linebackers in this class according to his size. I think he has decent size, standing at 6'1", 212 pounds. It looks like he has a frame that can add even more weight and mass to. I think he's someone that has a very high upside, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's an early impact player for the Illini. Staying on the defensive side of the ball for this next player, I'm going to be talking about defensive lineman out of Florida and current UCF commit Sincere Edwards. He is rated as a 3-star prospect according to the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings, rated as the number 496 player nationally and the number 48 defensive lineman in this year's class. He's had 2 back-to-back very good seasons in which he's had 140 total tackles, 27 sacks, 39 tackles for loss, 5 fumble recoveries, and 1 forced fumble. Coming off his 2022 junior campaign, he had a huge season with 78 total tackles, 27 tackles for loss, 17 sacks, and 2 fumble recoveries. He's not necessarily the biggest defensive lineman in the class at 6'2", 240 pounds, but if you turn on this guy's tape, he's clearly someone that knows how to get around blocks, get to the quarterback, and cause havoc in the backfield. He seems to be someone that more so comes off the edge than he does on the inside, but watching some of his film, at times he does play the inside, and it'll be very interesting to see how he shapes up onto the next level, as I would think he would play more of a defensive end role, maybe a 3-tech defensive end, but I think this is a really good get for UCF, especially if he stays and remains committed to the Golden Knights, as this is probably one of the more underrated players in the state of Florida, and in my opinion, has potential to have a very good college football career. Moving on to the offensive side of the ball, I'm going to be talking about Utah commit and from the state of Utah as well, quarterback Isaac Wilson. Wilson is rated as a 4-star prospect, and you may say, how is that underrated? And here's why I'm going to say he is a little bit underrated in this year's class, and that's because of his quarterback ranking. He is rated as a 355 player nationally and the number 22 quarterback in the class. In my opinion, I believe he's someone that could be ranked a lot higher, and I believe by the end of the cycle, he'll be ranked as a higher rated quarterback. He is currently going to be going to the Elite 11 Finals, which is coming up this coming week as of the recording of this video, and he's coming off a great junior campaign in 2022, in which in 14 games played, he threw 3,774 passing yards, 40 touchdowns to the air, while accounting for a total of 5 rushing touchdowns and a total of 695 rushing yards on the ground. As a quarterback at Corner Canyon High School, he has a lot of big play ability, as a lot of the passes he makes are deep balls down the field, and he's also someone that has some great accuracy, has great zip on the ball, and some very good mechanics to go along with his game as well. And with all that being said, I think he's someone that's very underrated with everything that he brings to the table. And I wouldn't be surprised if he rises up in the 2024 class rankings, not only nationally, but at the quarterback position as well, especially if he has a good showing at the Elite 11 finals. As to me, he's only starting to really gain ground, and I believe after a strong senior campaign, everyone's going to know the name Isaac Wilson nationally as one of the top quarterbacks in the game. Utah definitely got a great quarterback as a potential future heir to Cam Rising and others. Moving on to the next player from the state of Texas, wide receiver and current Texas Tech commit, Ivan Carrion. According to 24/7 Sports Composite Rankings, Ivan is rated as a 4-star, the number 291 player nationally, and the number 43 receiver in this class. He doesn't have the biggest offer sheet compared to some of the top receivers in said class, but he's also someone that committed much earlier than the others so far in the 24th cycle, as he committed to Texas Tech on December 1st, 2022. And he does hold offers from schools such as Oklahoma, Purdue, Texas State, and UNLV, just to name a few. Carrion is also a receiver that has great size and a very good frame, one that you can build on, but is also one that isn't completely too skinny with his height, as he stands in at 6'6", about 205 pounds, and he's someone whose game I really like. He's a deep ball threat, and he's someone who has good speed with his size, a good route running tree, and has proven production on the high school level on the Texas prep scene. As these past 2 seasons, he's had 128 receptions for 2,282 yards and 21 receptions through the air. And in this previous 2022 campaign of his as a junior, he had 51 receptions for 1,168 yards and 14 touchdowns through the air. He's a player that I believe has a very high upside because of his route running ability, his speed with his size at 6'6", and a frame that you can add more to. He seems like someone that's going to be a deep ball guy down the road on the collegiate level with his size, and someone who's going to be a true threat in the red zone. For the final player in today's video, I'm going to be talking about uncommitted running back in the 2024 class from the state of Oklahoma, Xavier Robinson. He is rated as a 3-star according to the 24/7 Sports Composite Rankings, the number 743 player nationally, and the number 58 running back in this year's class. He is coming off an amazing junior campaign in 2022 at Carl Albert, in which he was the Max Preps Player of the Year for the state of Oklahoma, and in 14 games played, he rushed for 2,594 yards, averaging over 9 yards a carry, and had a total of 39 rushing touchdowns. He's also a bigger running back compared to many of those in this year's class, as he stands in at 6'2", 225 pounds, according to his Rivals profile. And with this build, he's someone that's very hard to take down, as he has very big legs, very big arms, and is overall just a ginormous running back. And you can really put the 2 and 2 together. It's not going to be easy to take down Xavier Robinson. Not only that, he can truck you, but he can also make you miss in space and beat you with his speed downfield, as he does average over 9 yards a carry, and a lot of those carries are big yardage runs. Just because he's a bigger back doesn't mean he can't run past you and put up the scores all game long. It seems like his recruitment is coming down to 2 in-state teams, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, and 2 out-of-state teams in Iowa State and Notre Dame. This is a player I'm very high on, and I think he's going to have a very good collegiate career. Well, guys, if you made this far in today's video, drop something down in the comment section below. If you want to see more videos pertaining to the 2024 recruiting class, and who do you think I missed out on today's video that you believe is underrated and deserves more respect on their name in this 24 class. And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. B. Kelly out.